In the quiet town of Amstetten, Austria, a dark secret was hidden in plain sight. For 24 years, Elisabeth Fritzl was held captive by her own father, Joseph Fritzl, in a custom-built, soundproof cellar beneath their family home. This is a story of unimaginable suffering, but also one of incredible resilience and the fight for freedom. It all began in August 1984. Elisabeth, then just 18 years old, was lured into the newly constructed cellar by her father under a false pretext. Once inside, a heavy steel-reinforced door closed behind her, marking the beginning of a nightmare that would span nearly a quarter of a century. Joseph drugged her and chained her to a post. Above ground, he told his wife, Rosemary, and the police that Elisabeth had run away to join a religious cult, a story he supported with a letter he forced Elisabeth to write. The police investigation eventually closed, and for the world, Elisabeth Fritzl had simply vanished. Life in the cellar was a constant struggle for survival. The space was cramped, windowless, and damp. In her isolation, Elisabeth's only contact was with her captor. Over the years, the conditions in the cellar barely improved. Joseph expanded the prison, adding small rooms, a rudimentary kitchen, and a bathroom. But it remained a dungeon, completely cut off from the outside world. He controlled everything: the food, the water, and the electricity, which he could turn off at will, plunging the cellar into total darkness. The ordeal took an even more horrific turn when Elisabeth gave birth to her first child in captivity. Over the years, she would have 7 children in total, all fathered by Joseph. One child passed away shortly after birth due to a lack of medical care, a tragedy that Elisabeth had to endure alone in the darkness. 3 of the children were raised with her in the cellar, never seeing sunlight or knowing a world beyond their concrete walls. To maintain his facade, Joseph devised an elaborate deception. He brought 3 of the other children upstairs to live with him and his wife, Rosemary. He concocted stories that Elisabeth, still supposedly with the cold, had left the babies on their doorstep because she couldn't care for them. Astonishingly, Rosemary and the authorities accepted these explanations. The children were registered, went to school, and lived a seemingly normal life upstairs, completely unaware that their mother and siblings were imprisoned just a few feet below them. The children in the cellar grew up in a surreal world. Their only knowledge of the outside came from an old television. They learned to speak and read from Elisabeth, who did her best to create a sense of normalcy in an utterly abnormal environment. She was their teacher, their protector, and their only source of comfort in the darkness. The psychological toll on Elisabeth and the children was immense, living in constant fear and uncertainty. The secret began to unravel in April 2008. The eldest daughter, who was 19 and had lived her entire life in the cellar, fell gravely ill and was unconscious. Elisabeth pleaded with Joseph to get her medical help. For days he refused, but as her condition worsened, he finally agreed. He carried her out of the cellar and called an ambulance, claiming her mother had abandoned her. At the hospital, doctors were baffled by the young woman's severe condition and the lack of medical records. They made a public appeal for her mother, Elisabeth, to come forward. The police reopened the case, and their attention once again turned to Joseph Fritzl. The pressure mounted. As Joseph brought Elisabeth to the hospital, an alert doctor became suspicious. The police intervened. After being separated from her father and guaranteed she would never have to see him again, Elisabeth finally found the courage to tell her story. She gave a detailed account of her 24-year captivity to the police. Her testimony was chilling, revealing the full extent of the horror she and her children had endured. The world was shocked as the truth came to light. The hidden cellar was discovered, and the grim reality of what happened in the Fritzl home was exposed. Joseph Fritzl was arrested and, in 2009, was sentenced to life in prison. After their rescue, Elisabeth and her kids went to a clinic and got new identities to escape the crazy media attention. They were finally free, but the road to recovery would be long and difficult. This case is a stark reminder of the importance of community awareness and of listening to our instincts when something feels wrong. It also highlights the incredible strength of the human spirit. Despite enduring the unimaginable, Elisabeth Fritzl fought to protect her children and ultimately reclaimed her freedom. If you or someone you know is in a dangerous situation, please know that help is available. There are hotlines and organizations dedicated to providing support and a way out. You are not alone. Reaching out is the first step towards safety. Thank you for watching. If you found this story important, please like and subscribe for more content.